Let's go.
Welcome back to another video. This is your host Ahdontron from NerdTots, here for another anime review. Today we're going to be talking about the OVA One Punch Man Road to Hero. This movie came out in 2015 and it's a short one, guys. It's a very, very short one. But I'll be honest, I decided to watch this one because I was feeling that itch. You know, when you have a guilty pleasure or show that you like to watch, but you want something new. And unfortunately, I had a friend that hooked me up with this one because you're not going to find this one on your standard streaming networks. Not right now. On that note, if you want to skip to recap-free, spoiler-free review, check below in our description area and you can skip ahead. Otherwise, let's get this boy started. So we start our film with a gecko kind of looking creature. It's like a gecko man running away with a ton of stuff stuffed in his shirt. And then we see that he's being chased, which looks to be from a young Saitama, back when he had his hair. Now, this makes a difference for you if you're a One Punch Man fan. If you're not a One Punch Man fan, technically you can still watch it. You'll get to become familiar with who he is from this, but I digress. So it looked like he was stealing something, may have been CDs from the look of it. Saitama is like on the top of the roof. He jumps off the roof, and as he does, he tears his pants. Now this time he's wearing like this all blue tracksuit. He's not wearing a hero's outfit, but he announces he's a hero for fun. And the gecko guy laughs at him. Saitama says, "You're gonna pay for my suit." And he essentially does what he does. He beats the gecko guy to a pulp off screen, so you never get to see it. Then we pan over to another character who is essentially at a laundromat, I want to call it, and the owner looks like he's being shaken down by a guy who's offering him one more day in order to pay off his debts. Saitama shows up with his torn suit as the guy is leaving. Now, the owner knows what Saitama's doing. It's not like it's a secret. And he shows him a sketchbook of a hero outfit that he has been planning because he knows what he's out there doing, fighting crime. And it's like this samurai kind of style outfit, kind of kabuki looking. And the narrative in Saitama's mind is that he hates it, but he doesn't want the guy to wait because he's a nice dude. So he actually tells him, "I wear this to remind me who I am and where I come from. As of right now, I'm not a professional, so can't accept such a great outfit. Once I become professional, I will come back to you for an inspiration for a new outfit." So slinging a lot of BS out there. And then in that conversation, after that, Saitama goes home and you see his apartment complex is pretty rickety. And he gets approached by his landlord, or landlady to be precise, who's this like old, small little lady. And truthfully, when I saw her and the aura that she was giving off as a character, she's intimidating. She was probably one of the scariest characters in the series I've seen so far, because she was shaking him down for his rent money. She's like, "You're behind on your rent. I don't care what you're doing. You need to pay that rent." She's like, "I know." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm a hero for fun." And she's like, "Heroes make money, and I'm sure there's ways for you can do it. If you don't pay up, you're out." She says this like in this creepy way as the doors like just shut and close, not breaking contact. Come back to the laundromat owner. He fixed the clothes and he tells Saitama that he's going to close up shop because he had to give up the papers because he couldn't pay the loan that he took to keep the business going. Saitama understands what's happening, so he goes, "I'm sure this is a misunderstanding. I'll talk to these guys, we'll get this sorted, I'll fix this." And the guy's trying to stop him and he's like, no, it's fine, I'll be back, I got this. And he gets the instructions, like this intricate instructions of how to find the apartment complex where these guys work out of. He follows the intricate map, the instruction, and he comes back to the apartment complex, and it's the same place that Saitama lives. He just lives on the other side of the building. And he goes, no wonder the rent is so cheap. So the first door he goes to knock on, because he has the apartment complex, but just not what door. And he knocks on the door, and the person that opens the door is the landlady going, "Oh, you're here to pay the rent?" And he jumps immediately up and hides on the gap between the roof and the wall so that she doesn't see him. And you can see him like sweating like nervously. Then he drops down and he goes to knock on the next door. And he's like asking, are you part of the, I believe it's the Neo loan agency? And the guy that answers has like this little doll kind of thing going on. And he's this raggedy beard. Like, I know my stuff is raggedy, but it looks rough. And then he goes, no. And he closes the door. And as he's walking away, the guy opens the door again. And he tells him, you got to be careful who you're knocking and asking questions. He's like, not everybody's as nice as me. And then you see more of the guy. He's a cross-dresser in ladies' underwear, which is nothing wrong. But he's like this really dirty, grungy guy. Looks like he's just been sitting behind his computer for like a week or two. And hasn't bathed as well. So he looks pretty sketchy. So Saitama comes to the conclusion. He's like, I really have to be careful whose door I'm knocking on. So the next door he knocks on, two dudes answer. He tells them from a distance, I'm a hero for fun. I'm looking for some people. I live in the same complex. Like, he's just introducing himself. He's not really actually fishing for information at this time. And the two guys, they don't recognize it at first, but then they're like, oh, he's a hero. Are you trying to stop our counterfeit ring? And he's like, oh, okay, these guys aren't the people I'm looking for. So he starts to walk off. He's like, are you here to collect a reward on us? And then he stops, turns around, and you can see he gets that fire in his eyes. And he goes, reward. Next thing you know, off screen, they cut off, they're beaten up. So he's dragging them across, and a guy comes back to the apartment, notices that he's dragging these two bodies, and he sees him on the second floor now, doing the same thing, knocking on the door, walks into the room, comes out with another body, and he puts two together. He's like, this guy's looking for the boss, because apparently all these guys work for the guy that runs the Neo loans, but Saitama doesn't really know this. And this guy warns the boss through the phone. The big boss is like this guy who's dressed up in like frilly, kind of look like a Prince outfit. Think of Prince in Purple Rain, but he's a blonde-headed dude just wearing the same outfit and some like rings. I think that's an accurate description. So he finally gets to the final door, and the guy's like, so you're the dangerous man that has been looking for us. Why are you here? And he holds up this little post-it. He goes, I think there's been a misunderstanding. He's like, it's illegal to overcharge interest, and there's nothing in the law that says that you can collect a business because of the interest. You're just basically overpaying. Once you hit a certain percentage, the person is paid. So if you give back the paperwork, we're good. He's like, so this is the reason why you beat up all my guys, to tell me this? He goes, oh no, that was by accident. The guy flips out, and he gets so enraged, but at the same time, he gets energized by it because he's been enjoying taking down businesses, and not for the money, just for the joy of it. And then he transforms right in front of Saitama. His clothes like explode, and he turns into like this purple fishman or pink fishman with S&M underwear and straps on and a whip. And he explains to Saitama, he's like, don't you understand? When we evildoers reach to a certain new level, we transform and we become monsters. You should be afraid. He's like, this is the first time I've seen it, but it's not afraid. But it's nothing to fear. If anything, it's just weird. He goes, weird? He's like, yeah, when you meet someone that's weird and they get weirder, then they become a total pervert. And that infuriates the fishman. And he starts trying to whip Saitama, which is like wrecking his tracksuit that he's wearing. And he's like, you're pretty strong. He's like, you're pretty strong too. And he's like, I see you come to try to collect a reward. And then Saitama's eyes light up again. He goes, reward. And then we cut off the screen again. Next thing we know, we hear a knocking, and the old lady opens the door again. This time it's Saitama. She looks at him and she goes, better have my money this time. He goes, I don't have your money, but I do have something better. And he shows all the guys that are tied up, including the fishman. He's like, we got counterfeiters, we got thieves, we got loan sharks, we got all these people that have bounties on their heads. And you hear the cop siren in the background, by the way. He goes, if we turn them in, we can collect the reward and I pay off my rent. And you can see her get super angry. She's like, if I wanted this, I would have asked it of you. This is my main source of income. Basically, she knew all along that these guys were running these crimes, but she didn't care because she was getting paid on time by these guys. So even though they were criminals, they paid their rent. Next thing we see is Saitama in the street with all his stuff, and he goes, "Can't believe I lost my place. She kicked me out." And then we meet up with the laundromat owner who sees him. He invites him over for a cup of tea. He hands over the papers, giving him back to shop, and the laundromat owner tells him, "I'm still going to close up shop." Now, in this conversation, he does end up giving Saitama his new iconic outfit that we come to know and love, which, for if you're a new fan of the show or haven't seen the show yet, it's the yellow jumpsuit with the cape and the gloves. When he tells him, he's like, "I saw you as a hero when you were going to leave, and this is what came to me, so I made this for you." And he tells him, like, "I'm closing up shop because I just feel like it's time. I can't handle doing stuff anymore. I need to retire." So this just motivated me. I am forever grateful for you. Thank you so very much. And then we pan to present day, 3 years later. Saitama's having lunch next to Genos, and he goes, "So yeah, that's how I got my outfit. And truth be told, I honestly didn't wear it. I wore it, but underneath my tracksuit at first because I was kind of embarrassed." And they would show scenes of him like actually having the tracksuit over the outfit. And he's like, "But after a while, I got used to it and got comfortable. And it's like, it just felt right to be fighting crime in this outfit. Just never got a new one because this felt like it was a part of me." And Genos puts 2 and 2 together, and he goes, "I see. So part of being a hero is having something special, and that makes it important." He's like, "I see." And then Saitama drops a little bit of the food on his pants, and he's like, "Oh," he's trying to clean it off. It's not coming off. And he's like, Genos is like, "Sir, let me get you a new suit. I will gift it to you, and it'll be for you. I think it's time we change the outfit." And Saitama's like, "Have you not listened to my story? Like, literally, I just explained everything and why I have this suit and why I keep it." And then he cuts off the story. And that's the end. So, in regards to the review of this, now this was a OVA, which is like a short film or one-off. If you haven't watched my spoiler review, quick synopsis of the story is that this takes place 3 years before season 1 of One Punch Man, and is about how he gets his iconic yellow supersuit. That's the entire story. It has the same introductory theme song and animation at the beginning, and same outro and credits at the end. So it's essentially like a one-off episode of One Punch Man. Now, it's not entirely like an origin because in season 1 we get like one episode that kind of gives us an origin but still doesn't. So it doesn't really break the continuity of the character. Animation-wise, I still like the animation. It holds true to how the show was in season 1. The only downside is you don't get the same kind of action scenes that you got in season 1. A lot of it is just cut out. They allude to the action, but it is cut and skipped. They do focus more on the character development and the dialogue for the story to make it more comical, which that's what One Punch Man. It's comedy, but you also are supposed to have a little bit of action in there. So the fact that they kind of take that action out and focus on the comedy gives you a little bit different of a feel. Now, since this was provided to me by a friend, I only had the Japanese version. I don't believe there's a English version of this yet, but I'm okay with that. The dialogue conversation piece works for me. It's simplistic. It's true to form with the series that it's usually pretty stupid conversations, but they work. I enjoy this as a piece. Music-wise, it's the same score that you're going to get in the original series. I would definitely say this is a solid 3 out of 5 NerdTots. Now, this I wouldn't introduce to anybody as like the one episode you should see to get a person into the show or anime at all. So if you're trying to introduce a friend to anime, this OVA is not going to be that one that's going to trigger that. If you're trying to introduce them into One Punch Man, absolutely, this is not going to be that piece. If you're a fan of One Punch Man, if you've just finished season 1, not to say season 2, you just finished season 1, this will be on that hype. If you finish season 1 and 2, you can still come back and watch this because Lord knows I'm waiting for season 3. Please let that still come through. And right now, this is going to be my One Punch Man fix. It's not long. It's the same time frame for all the other episodes. So it's a singular episode. It is an OVA. So it's not part of season 1 or 2. It's a standalone, so technically you don't need it. But like I said, it's that anime fix to kind of give you that little touch of flavor to hold you over, to keep you going. Other than that, Oh, if you're not a fan of One Punch Man, this is not going to be your fix either. This is not going to convert you into being a fan of it. So if you have seen season 1 or 2 and you still don't like One Punch Man by that point, I would say steer away from this. It's not going to be for you. It has even less of the things that make One Punch Man their character, other than the dialogue. That's really it. The dialogue is the biggest thing. On that note, if you have suggestions, there's something I haven't reviewed, let me know in the comments below. I want to check out new stuff like this I just watched right now. It's fun for me. Even if it's a bad one that I don't like, I want to check it off a list and give you my review. Other than that, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and hit that subscribe, or hit subscribe at the very least, and ring that bell. If you like my video, definitely hit the like, and just continue watching anime as usual. Expand your mind. Just be excellent. Laters.
Let's go.